Hello, guys. Good evening, everyone. Is it audible now? Please confirm. I think it should be audible now. I have checked all my this microphone settings. Everything is all right here. So please confirm. Yes. Thank God. Thank you so much. So good evening, everyone. Good evening. Thank you so much for the confirmation. Yeah. So, hi guys, this is Shreya Tiwari here from Let's Upgrade team. So, basically, I'm here to help you out with the attendance process and everything, and to give you a brief information about the boot camp. So, yeah, let me just start sharing my screen, and I will help you out with all the process and everything. And if you have any queries, guys, the chat section is open. You all can put up your queries in the chat section. So, give me a minute. I am sharing my screen. Okay, is my screen visible? Everybody, please confirm. I need your confirmation before moving ahead. Guys, please confirm. Is my screen visible to everyone? I believe it's visible. Yeah. So, guys, as you can see here, this is the description box of the YouTube session. So, basically, what all the links and all the necessary required materials and everything is listed down here. So, what you have to do, you have to just go to the description, this YouTube description, and the very important link, that is the registration, attendance, and everything. This is very important link. So, what you have to do, just click on this link, and it will be redirecting you to the Let's Upgrade website. It's taking time. Yeah. So as you can see here, the name of the program is mentioned. Again, it's going to be a 3-day boot camp, MongoDB boot camp, and the timings are going to be from 8:30 p.m. to 10 p.m. So here the name of the boot camp is mentioned. As you'll scroll down, you'll see here the progress bar is listed down. As of now, it is 0. As soon as I will mark my attendance and everything, the progress bar will keep on increasing. Let me just scroll down. Yeah. So as you can see here the day 1, day 2, and day 3, all the upcoming 3 days schedule is mentioned over here. So you can check the schedule over here. Now today is day 1, so I need to mark my attendance first. So I'll just click on this mark attendance. How likely will you recommend today's session to your friend? So basically you have to give rating of today's session. So based on the scale of 1 to 10, what rating would you like to give for today's session? So suppose if I like the session, I'll give 9 or 10. And suppose if you did not like the session, and if you're giving us rating below 7, make sure that you're giving us the reason too, so that next time we can make sure that we are improving on that particular area. So suppose if I thought that the interaction part was less, so I'll just put interaction, and I'll click on mark attendance. And as you can see here, a pop-up has come up saying that attendance has been marked successfully, and over here also I can see that it has turned blue in color, saying that the attendance has marked. So this is the confirmation that we have received your attendance, and likewise you will also receive a WhatsApp message saying that your attendance has been marked. Again, for day 2 and day 3 also, you have to mark the attendance same way. I believe the attendance process is clear. Let me just, okay. So before, I'll just take you to the description section again. Guys, here are WhatsApp communities and Discord communities link. Make sure that you are joining either of the community channels, because we are putting all the updates and everything in the channel. And suppose if you are having any doubts, you can ask in these channels. Secondly, as we have started, I have told you, right, the progress bar was 0 at that time. Now you can see that as soon as I have marked day 1 attendance, it is 33%. So likewise, it will keep on increasing. After day 2 also it will increase, and after day 3 also it will increase. And once it is done, it is completed, your this download certificate option will be visible. So you can directly download the certificate from there, and it is free of cost. You do not have to pay anything. Let me just head over to the chat section. Guys, let me know, is the attendance part and this certification part clear? Yeah, Rishabh, you can use that certificate in your resume. Rishabh, the session is of 1.5 hours. Okay, so I believe this is clear, right? Let me just move ahead. Guys, the second very important thing is our student ambassador program. So let me just click on this link. Yeah. So guys, we launch the student ambassador program every month. So May month program is already going on, and June month we are launching the program on 1st of June. So again, the applications are open till 31st of May. You all can apply for the program, and it is free of cost. You do not have to pay anything. And there are so many things, so many benefits that are associated with this program. Again, I'm not going in detail. I'm not explaining each and everything right now. Once you join program, you'll get to know all the benefits and everything. But one thing I can promise you for sure, that student ambassador program is definitely something very interesting, and we are coming up with something very exciting things in this upcoming batch. So I would encourage each and every one of you to join this program. So yeah, this was all about the student ambassador program. Let me just move ahead. Okay, and the last one is the all-in-one documentation. So I'll just click on this link. Yeah. Okay. It's taking time. Now again, what is this all-in-one documentation? In this documentation, guys, you'll get all the notes and everything. Suppose if the trainer is sharing any materials after the session, we will be adding those materials in this all-in-one documentation only. And from here, you can get each and everything. All the links, that is student ambassador program link is mentioned here, document link is mentioned here, enrollment attendance link, and likewise, as I said, you will get all the notes from this particular all-in-one documentation. So you do not have to go anywhere. It's just one link. You'll click on this link and you'll get everything from this link. So yeah, that was all about it. Again, please make sure that you all are joining the WhatsApp group to get the regular updates and everything. Okay, let me know if you have any queries or we are good to go. Can I take the trainer on stage, and can we start with today's session? Guys, give me a confirmation so that I can just move ahead. Yash, Soumya, we will be sharing the link in the chat section. Soon we will be sharing all the links that I have discussed. And before that, yeah, okay. Thank you so much, guys, for the confirmation. Guys, if you haven't received the WhatsApp confirmation, but you have received the pop-up, that means your attendance has been marked. So you do not have to worry about it. That means your attendance has been marked. Okay, so yeah, since we are done with the explanation part, let me just stop sharing my screen and let me just take trainer on stage. Yeah. Hi Nilesh sir, good evening.
Hello. Good
Good
evening.
evening sir.
Am I
How are
audible?
you? Yeah, you are audible. How are you?
Great. I'm great. Thanks.
Okay sir. Okay sir, so I'm done with the explanation part and everything. So now I'm handing over the session to you. So thank you.
Thank you so much. Hello, everyone. My name is Nilesh Shinde. I work at Deloitte, India, and I have almost like 4.5 years of experience in data field, basically. Let me just share my screen. Just let me know if that is visible. Okay, great. Let's start with today's session. Just a second. Yeah, now I can see your comments also. So let's get started. So I just wanted to have one question for all of you. Like, how many of you have heard about MongoDB, or you have used MongoDB in your college or in your company? Can you just give me a thumbs up? Great. So let's get started from the very basics. For those who haven't heard or who want to learn from the scratch, so let's get started. So let's start with a very common concept, that is, what is data and what are the types of data. So basically, there are three types of data. There are many more, but majorly data is categorized into three parts. That is structured data, semi-structured data, and unstructured data. So structured data is anything you have already seen, like, a book or an index or any table kind of a data. So it is very organized and easily searchable. So that's the characteristic of a structured data. Semi-structured data is like partially organized, and it has some data which is unstructured, like a text document or a JSON or XML file. Unstructured data is something which doesn't have a structure. Let's say, uh, you can take an example of a audio or a video or any type of a website traffic data or logs. So these are the major types of data. uh, are you able to see my slides? Just a second, let me check. Yeah, now you can see my slides, right? Okay, great. So yeah, just a recap. We were discussing type of data. So there are majorly three types of data. That is structured, semi-structured, unstructured. Structured data, you can take an example of a table. Semi-structured data, it can be mix and match of structured and unstructured data. For example, a text file, or a document which has no structure or tables. And unstructured data is more like audio, video, or any website logs. So these are the major types of data. So let's move on to a concept called as database. So I hope all of you know what database is. So basically, let's take an example and understand. If we think that you want to store some information, so generally what we can do is, we can write the information down on a paper, right? And we can store it. So that's the uh, non-digital format. So if you are trying to store data, or ri- right now try to collect any kind of an information, and want to store it digitally, you have to first have a sort of a software or a platform where you can store this data. That platform is called as database. So database is nothing but a collection of data. So I hope you understand what is a database. So now let's talk about what is a general purpose database. So as you all know, like, we have you know a data revolution going on. There is so much of data on the internet, and this data has very different formats. So general purpose database is something which can go well with various type of applications. For example, let's say there are different type of applications. For example, Instagram. On Instagram, you store photos, you store videos in the form of reels. Um then again, the next example can be Swiggy or Zomato. In that, the data storage is of very different type. Like there you have to store the hotels data, their dishes, and many more related data. So in these two examples, the data format, the data treatment is very different, but you can use the same technology, the same database underlying. So that's what we call as a general purpose database. So it is designed to meet the needs of as many applications as possible. So uh, in the opposite side, you can say a database which is not created for a specific purpose is called as general purpose database. So general purpose databases are mostly, inspired by or influenced by relational databases such as Oracle, MySQL, and Postgres. So I hope you have heard about these relational databases in your college days, right? So now let's discuss a problem: growing data sizes. So general purpose databases were designed to run on a single server initially, because we didn't have the computation capabilities back in the days. So the design was in such a way that you have to run that database on a single machine, a single desktop. So when the data started growing, uh, people started to find this problem that how we can store more data and how we can handle more data. So that was specifically because of internet boom and the .NET bubble. So people started doing scaling. Scaling in the sense, they started vertically scaling their machines. For example, they started uh, expanding their storage, that is hard drive space. Then they started expanding their RAM. So these kind of solutions they started doing, that is called as vertical scaling, to accommodate the data volume which is been increasing. So to solve that problem, there is a new technology, or you can say new type of databases came into picture. So let's discuss more about what is a modern database. So modern database has few prerequisites to get itself called as a modern database. So first one is designed to support a single unified API. For example, uh, uh, if you have a database and it has so many tables and you want to access that database, your database should have a unified API to access it from a few different endpoints, so you can easily access and manage your data. So that is the requirement. Second is it should support the polymorphic data. What is polymorphic data? A data which change with time. For example, let's consider your personal data. Let's say your name, uh, your age, your address. So your age will change with time. If you change your home, if you shift cities, your address will change. So you have to automatically update it into the database. So that is called as polymorphic data. So data which changes with time and changes its design. Let's say you have purchased a new mobile number, and you want to store that also, so it can change shape from like one mobile number to two mobile numbers. So that is called as polymorphic data. I hope you are understanding, right? Are you with me till this point? Okay, cool. Let's move on. uh, a modern database also should support many different types of data workloads, that is transactional, database style, and operational and analytical. Transactional is what, let's say you consider an example of a bank. So you do transaction on your UPI, your mobile banking app. So that transactions get stored into the bank's database. So that is called as transactional database. Then operational is like, if you go on a website, you order something, and then it has to, subtracted from the inventory as the product is sold. It should shift to a different order table. So that is operational data. And if you have a lot of data and you want to analyze it, for example creating a report or dashboard, that is called as analytical use case. Then the modern database should be cloud native or with DB as a service or software as a service offering. So now everything runs on cloud these days. So your database should also be capable of sitting on top of cloud and working with cloud native applications. Then the next prerequisite is easy mapping of data to and from of programming languages. For example, uh, you if you want to build an application, you have to write your code, and then you need to understand your data structure behind the code, and you have to map in both these things to achieve a smoother application. So the modern database should also be having some easy mappings of the data with the programming languages. Also, it also implies this at this point that it should support wide range of programming languages. So today we are talking about MongoDB, and MongoDB supports many languages. We will get to the specific, like what languages it is supporting later on in the session. So let's move ahead. So now we will combine these two concepts, that is modern database and general purpose database. If we combine these two concepts, we will get a modern general purpose database. So it combines all the previous features from both a modern database and from a general purpose database, so that you all understood, right? So in addition, it should has it should have these features. So it should have the capability to be containerized, so you can ship your database uh, alongside your applications in containers, can be provisioned and run in multi-cloud provider environments. This is specifically because if for some reason your cloud provider fails, so you should not lose your data. So you should have that capability that your database can run into multiple cloud provider environments to manage the disaster. And third point is can support the geolocation of data. So your database should have the capability to restrict your database data to a particular zone or a geolocation to meet the compliances. So I hope you have understood the modern general purpose database. What is a database? What is the general purpose database? What are the prerequisites for that? Right. So let's move on to now. Let's compare how relational versus non-relational database bases are and where it all began. So as we all discussed before, related data is stored in rows and columns in one table, that is called as relational database. So basically, if you have some sort of a relation between your data and you are storing it, it is called as a relational database. So it has these three features, that is related data is stored in rows and columns in one table. For example, you want to store data of your employees, so you can create a table uh, called as employee, and then you can store all the data related to those employees in that table. This relational database should be navigated using a structured query language. So mostly all the relational databases use SQL. Then these tables which you store, uh, they uses columns to define the information, uh, being stored and rows for the actual data. For example, you are storing name of the employee, so the column name will be employee name, and all the rows are the actual names of the employees. So that is the structure of it. So let's talk more about relational databases and SQL, that is SQL. So SQL is, let's take it one by one. So SQL is a de facto query language for a vast majority of relational databases. So for example, you want to write queries into Oracle, PostgreSQL, MySQL, even Microsoft SQL Server. So these all internally uses SQL language as a language to write queries. So relational databases are very much domain specific language for the management of your data in the databases, because you have to understand your domain, your database properly to in order to write the queries, to write the joins and everything. It is designed to operate with structured data. Obviously, you're storing structure data into a structured format in relational databases, so it will obviously work with structured data. Then it has a declarative language, like describe the desired result. So you have to actually describe what you really want. For example, let's say I want to retrieve data of employees of a particular department, and you want to write a query about it. So you have to specify like what information you want from that particular table. I want employee name, their department, or some other data. For example, their address, their city, their manager's name. So you can specify these columns in SQL uh, to actually get the desired result. So this is the point of this declarative language. So if you have any questions till now, let me just quickly check. Okay, so someone asked what is the reason behind making MongoDB? So just a quick answer to your question. So as we saw that there has been growth into data, which is a type of semi-structured and unstructured. So in order to store that, in order to manage that data properly, we needed some database which supports NoSQL, that is unstructured data. So that's where MongoDB came in picture and it got invented. So I hope this answers your question, uh, NYM. So let's move on. So now let's see the overview of non-relational databases. So this was the answer of your question, NYM. If you can see the slide. So in 1970s, we had relational databases. SQL was developed by IBM, and there at that time the majority of data was in structured format. So mostly it was uh, transactional type of a data. So that's why relational databases were used to manage and store that data. And in 1990s, after the invention of internet, the data storage exploded, and people started creating various types of data, like website traffic, website logs, uh, other type of data to put on websites. To manage that, in 2000s, NoSQL databases started emerging, and they got invented. So if we consider the definition of it, so NoSQL, generally people think NoSQL is means there is no SQL, that is no SQL is present, but actually uh, it is more like implied meaning is like not only SQL. Like it can run SQL, but it can also support other things. So that's why it is called as NoSQL. Let me just quickly go through the questions. Does it need to make primary key like MySQL? No, you don't need to make primary keys in MongoDB. We'll get to know more about that. So for using MongoDB, you need to use uh, a query language which is similar to JSON. So once we get into the coding part of this bootcamp, I will explain you how the syntax work, how you write the queries and everything. So let's get back to the topic. What is a non-relational database? So if you have listened the relational part, so this is opposite of it. In relational, we were storing structured data. In non-relational databases, we are storing polymorphic data structures. Like the data changes, the data format can change, and data shape is also can change. Then second point is relational database has flexible schemas. For example, if you know relational databases, you have to define the structure of your tables, define how one table is related to another table. uh, One person was talking about primary key, so that is the relational keys in relational databases, so like primary and foreign key. But in non-relational databases, the schemas are flexible. Mostly they don't have a schema, or it is very flexible. You can change it according to your data needs and the time when you want to update the data in your databases. So that's the idea. Easy to scale large workloads. So in terms of relational databases, if you want to increase its capacity, or if you want to manage more data through the relational database, it is very difficult to scale. You have to shift it to a larger machine, or you have to uh, scale it using multiple storage options. So that is very time consuming and tedious. In non-relational databases, you can add more nodes to your database to support larger workloads. So these are some points about non-relational databases that we can discuss. So as we talked, the definition part, that is, it is defined as non-relational, and this is our preferred definition over NoSQL. So model data is a different way to tabular models. So as we discussed in relational part, the data was stored in tables and in a structured way. In MongoDB, we store data into a document format. We'll get to that part once we start the coding part. Then it is implicitly recognition of horizontal scaling as an issue. So we just discussed now, if you have a larger workload, and you want to scale your database to support that workload or support that large quantity of data, you have to horizontally scale it. Then there is a concept called as cap theorem. So it's a concept of how you can scale your data and what are the trade-offs of scaling your data. Like you have to choose between the consistency, the availability, and the partitioning of your database. So we will talk about it in the advanced part. The next point is like less of mismatch between objects in programming language and a table in a relational database. So for example, in a normal case where you don't use no relational databases, you have to have your data variables in accordance with your database rules. For example, we can't have a space between a name of a column. For example, first name, so you can't have first space name in a relational database. You have to have a underscore between them, because that's the coding standard of a relational database. But here you can have spaces. You can have your own type of variables declared, and it is very close to your databases. So when to use non-relational database? So first point is, when you are working with data that changes frequently, you should opt for a non-relational database. If you are using your applications on cloud, if you are hosting your applications on cloud, you should opt for a non-relational database. And if you want to increase the productivity of your developers or your own self, you should opt for non-relational database. So let's dive deep into why it is like that. So non-relational databases are particularly the document model, which is suited for polymorphic data basically. So you can change the documents uh, as per your needs and as and when the data is being changed. It is very easy to map with programming languages, and the no relational databases are mostly cloud native. So you can spin up a cluster where you can install your specific database, and then you can make it talk to your application over cloud. So let's get into the main part. Like many of you are thinking about how a particular relational databases, or whatever knowledge I have on my SQL database or RDBMS, how I can map it to MongoDB, and how MongoDB actually works. So this is the you know comparison of things between RDBMS and MongoDB. So in RDBMS, we call a database uh, a, a database is called as a database, like a collection of a data. In MongoDB, it called as same, like a database. In relational databases, we store our data in form of tables, but in MongoDB, the the structure which is equivalent to table is called as collection. In RDBMS, we use parent-child tables, that is using primary key and foreign key. Here, we simply nest those documents or arrays in the same collection. Then in RDBMS, there is a concept of index, which is actually indexing over a particular column or a particular attribute of data to you know to sub you can say to find the data more accurately or more fastly, or search the data in less time. So that is index. In RDBMS, we store data into rows. So each row has a data about a particular uh, entity, or you can say, for example, employee. If we consider employee table, each row has data about a particular employee. In MongoDB, we call that row as a document. So in terms of MongoDB, if we want to store data of employees, we have to create a collection named employees, and then we have to insert documents as row, like one row for one employee into this collection. So in RDBMS, we call attributes as columns. Here we call it as field. In RDBMS, we use join. Here we use embedding, linking, and lookup to find out related tables or in any data from two different documents or two different collections. Then there is view. Views are same in both the relational and non-relational databases. And then there is multi-record ACID transaction. It is also same. Here the record words get replaced with document, because whatever rows we are inserting, we are calling it as a document. So I hope you are with me till this point. Let me just quickly check if we have any questions we can answer. Someone asked, should we know SQL to learn MongoDB? It is not necessary, but if you already know SQL, you can be able to understand the concepts, and you can compare those concepts together to understand well. But if you don't have the SQL knowledge, it's not a hard requirement. You can definitely learn MongoDB. Uh, Someone asked, what is the difference between MongoDB Atlas versus Compass, and which is better? So uh, this will come in the later part, where we are actually going to install these two. There I can take your question. Someone asked why we should use MongoDB instead of RDBMS, where RDBMS can fetch data more quickly compared to MongoDB. So basically, it depends on your requirement. If your data is in itself is in unstructured format, you cannot store into RDBMS. So that's one problem. Secondly, if you have very large volumes of data, in for example, let's say you have crores of data, like 10 crore, 50 crore records into a table, and in this case, you similarly want to join two or three tables. So that is very difficult to query in a RDBMS scenario. It is slow. I work in banks, so we have very large volume of data. So I know there are few limitations when you come to the part of data sizes and the volume of data. So that's why MongoDB is better option if you have a unstructured data and you have very large volume of data. So let's move on. So let's get started with the document based model. So now we will try to understand what are the core concepts in MongoDB, and how we should start storing our data, how we can create something in MongoDB. So let's start with a very basic syntax slide. So this is the structure and syntax of a document in MongoDB. So here there is an example of a user. So on the left hand side, if you can see, there are 4 fields. That is underscore ID, then it has object ID, and there is some random value. Then the second field is user underscore ID, then colon, and it has a name CN, then age 29, the status is equal to A. So this is how uh, a particular document or any type of document is stored in MongoDB. You can read documents in this way. So how it is stored, basically it is enclosed in curly braces. You have a primary key, or you can say a identification column object underscore ID, which we don't have to specify. If you want to specify, you can specify, but generally it is created by the system itself, so you don't have to worry about creating a particular identification token for a particular document. Then you can store your data like user ID. Here you can consider username, your age, and status. So this is how a particular document looks like. So it is similar to JSON. If you have used JSON, so you can understand the format, how we are storing it. So this we discussed. So it is basically key value pairs. So left side you have a key, and right side you have a value for it. For example, age, you have a value 29. So generally we follow a syntax of including this key values into double quotes and separated by a colon. So one more thing is, you can separate these values, key value pairs, by commas. So like if you want to add various columns, so if you can map this particular document to a table, so we are into a user table where there are 4 columns. That is, one is underscore ID, second is user ID, age, and status. So these 4 columns have these 4 values. So underscore ID has this random value, user ID has CN, age has 29, and status has A. So these are this is a row, and left side all the keys are column names. Okay, so I think we should stop the theory part here. Now let's move on to installing the MongoDB database into your system. So let me know if you can see my other windows. Okay, so there are various ways you can install MongoDB. Okay, so I will share this links, don't worry. So I have just come to this mongodb.com/try /download page. You can also simply just Google search MongoDB install, and you can come on this page. So let's talk about what are the various ways we can use MongoDB in our machine. So for Windows users and Linux users, the steps are a bit different. So there are 2 3 major components which we can use to access our MongoDB. So first option is you can install MongoDB Community Edition into your local machine. It's just like any other software. You have to download it and install it in your machine. Second is uh, there is a tool called as MongoDB Shell. MongoDB Shell is nothing but a command prompt version of MongoDB, where you can just write your commands and access your databases. So I have installed it in my machine. Just a second, I'll show you. So on Mac OS, you just have to go into your terminal. Let me know if you can see my terminal. So once you do all the steps uh, in the installation guide, we will walk you through that installation guide. Don't worry. So we can get something like this. Like if you put Mongo sh in your terminal, you will get connected to it, and you can see this test database. So this is our desired result after the installation. So let's quickly get into the installation steps. So first option is you can download MongoDB shell according to your platform. Like you can choose whichever platform you have uh, here, and you can just download the zip file. That is one. Someone asked what is the difference between Mongo shell and Compass. So shell is basically a command prompt version to access your database, and Compass is a GUI version, like it is more user friendly version. I have also installed this command Compass into my system. So let me just quickly show you. Let me know if it is visible. Yeah, so here you can see I have connected to my local host, and there are some system defined databases, and here I have created a database school, and in that there is a collection called a student, and I have put two records, that is two documents in this school database and student collection. So this is more user friendly UI, where you can actually see your data, and there are many features. So for example, you can see it in a table format, you can see it in a JSON format, or you can see in a list format. So this is the use of Compass. So don't worry, we will be I'll be putting the links, and you can find those links into that uh, all access document. So the Let's Upgrade team will put those links into it, or else you can just simply go and Google and type MongoDB installation, and you can get it onto this page. So I told you about MongoDB shell. To you can use MongoDB shell using for using your database or accessing it through your command prompt, like CLIs. If you want, you are not familiar with commands, and get scared by seeing the black screen, you can use MongoDB Compass. That is more user friendly. Then there is a third option, you can use MongoDB Atlas. So let me talk more about MongoDB Atlas. So if you don't have uh, a good machine, and you don't want to store your databases locally in your machine, you can go to MongoDB Atlas. So let me just quickly show you. You can just search MongoDB Atlas. and you can go on this page. So once you get here, creating your cluster is free. So I'll just walk you through the steps. So basically you have to come on this page. You can read more about what is Atlas is and everything. We will also explain it shortly. Then get started, and then you will get this page, sign up. So here you have to fill your details. It is free. It doesn't ask you anything about your credit card and everything. And if you have already registered and you have an account, as I have account, I will just sign in with my Google. So you come on this page. So basically, if you see, this is the UI of MongoDB Atlas. So here you can create your particular cluster, or where you can host your databases. This is purely cloud. uh, you can use different cloud vendors like Microsoft Azure, Google Cloud Platform, or AWS to host this particular cluster. This is free of cost. So if you can see, I have a cluster named cluster 0, and this is free. You can also create a cluster for free. I will share the link of this document where you can learn how to create a cluster. Then if you just see here, I'll just select the project on browse collections. You can see there are different databases here. So these are all sample databases. So this is a quick overview of Atlas. So let's get back to installing our Mongo shell. So on this page, you can see this is very easy to understand, very easily written. So if you have Windows, you just have to follow these steps. I'll show you what are the Mac OS steps, because I have a Mac. So in Mac, you just need one thing before you start your installation, that is Homebrew. So if you don't have Homebrew, you have to just go on the Homebrew website. This is basically a package manager like uh, pip in Linux. So you just have to copy uh, this command to install Homebrew and paste it on your terminal. So as I have already done it, I'll just paste it for you and just run it. And you have to provide your password. So it will start downloading, and it will automatically install Homebrew. So we'll just wait for a few seconds. So yeah, so this is how you install Homebrew. And then what you have to do is you have to brew install Mongo sh. Mongo sh is nothing but Mongo shell. This I have already installed. So till it is installing, let me check if I can answer any questions. Okay, so it is installed. And now we can just check Mongo sh. And you will get into this database. So that is the max step. I'll quickly go over Windows and Linux. So in Windows, you have to download the community edition, or you can download the Mongo shell zip file. Like you go to this download center, MongoDB shell download. You select your platform. It says Windows, and just download the zip file. Once that is downloaded, you can just extract the downloaded zip file. Then you have to follow this step to add Mongo sh binary to your path environment variables. So here you can go into your control panel, system and security categories, and then system. So for this part, I can also provide link for a video tutorial where you can actually see and do it. So don't worry about this part. In tomorrow's session, we can start uh, start by solving some doubts regarding the installation if you have any, or we can start directly using the MongoDB databases. So let's go let's get into the coding part. So let me just go into MongoDB Compass. So this is more user friendly. So I'll encourage everyone, if you are starting the installation, try and do MongoDB Compass so you can follow the steps, whatever we are doing going forward. So generally, when you just a second. Generally, when you install MongoDB Compass for the first time, you will get this screen. Okay, there is no connection, it is blank. Now you have to add a new connection. Here, if you have already installed Mongo sh or MongoDB community edition into your system, you will automatically get the localhost URL. Here you can see the URL. If you want to specify the name, the color of your connection, you can specify it here. If you want to add it into favorites, you can add it. Advanced option, here you can change the connection string if you want to connect with your Atlas cluster, or if you have any proxy or SSL settings or any type of advanced settings. For this demo, it is very basic. You just have to connect to your local host. You just have, it will automatically get populated if MongoDB is installed, and you just have to save and connect. Okay, so it will create a connection here, that is localhost, and it will create these three, like admin, config, and local, these databases automatically. Okay, so you can see there is nothing into it. These are system level databases. These are some startup logs, like when I started. This is a database that I created. It's cool. We can create a database, let's say test database. We create. If you want to add a collection, that is, you want to add a table into it, you can add, let's say, table 1. If you want to store time series data into it, you can just take this. If you have some additional preferences, like use custom collation or clustered collection, we don't have anything. We are just doing a simple demo, so we can just write a database name, anything. I'm just writing test, and the collection name is table 1, and I'll create. So you can see here, we can see the test database created, and in test we have one collection, that is table 1. It is showing the storage size. The documents are 0. Documents are nothing but rows. We haven't inserted any rows into this table, so it is showing 0. Average document size is 0 bytes. Indexes is 1. By default it creates one index, and total index size is 4.10. That is similar to a storage size, because there is nothing. It's just a empty database. Now you can click on this table 1, where now you can see this UI. So here we will explain, like, what are the documents present. You can import your data from your CSV or JSON file. If you have already stored some data, you can export it. If you want to add data, you can add data from here also. Import JSON, CSV file, or insert a document. If you want to update, you can update from here, delete, and everything. Here is a search box where you can search documents from your MongoDB databases. So for example, if you want to search a particular row or a record in from this table 1 collection, you can write a query from this query. Once you click on find, you will get the database. You will get the document that you are searching for. We will learn this through an example. I'm just explaining the UI right now. Then there are aggregations. This is the advanced part. Then there is schema. You can define your schema. Then there are indexes. As I told you, there is a default index, so it is showing one underscore id index. And then you can set validation rules. Okay, so let's quickly get started with add data. I want to insert a document. Okay, so in this UI you can see, like, it is giving you a syntax where it has started the document by using curly braces. It has already a system generated id column, that is the primary key. We can add, let's say I want to add name, and I want to add, let's say, John. Then I want to add its age, let's say I'll add 20. Okay, let me just check. Okay, sorry. So now what I have done is I have just added two columns, that is name and age, to this document, and I'm storing a name John and age 20, and I'll insert. So you can see we have one row inserted, there is one document inserted containing two fields, uh, basically three fields, but ID is system generated, name is John, age is 20. You can see it in a code format, like this way we have inserted it. You can see the ID. If you want to see in a table format, you can see it in a table format. I hope you understand till here. Do you have any question? Let me just check the comments if I can answer any questions. If you have any questions, feel free to drop in the comments so I can see and I can answer those. So someone asked what is the use of brew. So let me just go on this. So basically, brew is a package installer. For example, you use pip or apt in Linux to install different packages softwares. Similarly, we use homebrew in Mac OS. So it is nothing but a package installer. So you can install homebrew, and then you can install any other softwares or packages which supports command line installation. So the way we did here, this was the command for installing Mongo sh. So it supports the brew package manager, where you can just say install and then Mongo sh, and it will automatically go on the internet and fetch Mongo shell for you and install it in your system. So that is the basic use of brew. I hope that helps understand your question. So what are the steps to be installed to be followed in Windows? So if you can simply go on this website, that is mongodb.com/docs. I will also share these links into your all links document. You can find it there, or you can simply just search MongoDB installation in Windows, and you will get onto this page where you can have detailed steps to install and configure it in your system. Similarly, we have for Linux also. So all three options are available here. Okay, so do we need to install both Community Edition and the shell? Uh, Actually, if you can use it on Windows, you can if you want, you can install both. that's not the harm, but you can use from your terminal also. uh, but I'll recommend you using the compass, so it will be in line with our bootcamp, and also it is easy to understand. You can, easy to navigate through uh, compass. But you are more familiar or more comfortable with command line, feel free to use MongoDB shell, no problem. Yes, correct, you have to install community and compass. Again, it is up to you. If you want to if you are more comfortable with GUI, feel free to use compass. If you are more comfortable with command line, feel free to use shell. Both are the options. Any which ways you can, connect to your clusters from Atlas, and you can write queries, and export your data, import your data, manage your data from there. So both ways are possible. If you have any more questions. So tomorrow we will be going to know more about how you can write queries in MongoDB database. We will see more about what are the CRUD operations, how you can perform CRUD operations using examples of it. I'll also try to create a cluster on Atlas, and I'll teach you how you can connect that cluster uh, using your Mongo shell or Mongo compass. And whatever you are writing, you are manipulating in your compass or shell, it will automatically reflect into your cluster uh, on Atlas. So these things we can learn tomorrow. If you have any more questions, feel free to drop in. I have few more minutes left. Which is the best, compass, shell, or Atlas? So look, these three are different tools. I told you, if you want GUI, use compass. If you want CLI, that is commands, use shell. And if you want to create a cluster, but you don't want to install MongoDB on your system, you want a fully managed cluster, use Atlas. Yes, I'll be sharing the link for the installation process. It is very straightforward. So once you go into those links, or you can just note down if you want now. Uh, here is the link, mongodb.com/docs. So here you will get both the links. Like you can get a link for Atlas here. Like if you want to go to Atlas, if you want to install locally, you will get the MongoDB installation. Like you can then choose according to your platform. Like you want to community edition is free, so you refer to these links. So according to your platform, you can just click on your link. For example, for Windows, you will get separate document for your Windows. So here you will get all the steps. Similarly, you can check for Linux of different types and macOS. So this is the link. You can just copy it. So if you have any more questions, feel free to just drop in, or we can close the session. Yes, I'll be sharing the PPT also. I'll just create a drive link for it and share it with the Let's Upgrade team. Someone has asked, sir, can we use different types of databases for a single project? Generally, it is not recommended. So you have to first analyze what is your use case. Like if you want to store an unstructured type of data, you have to go with NoSQL or no relational databases. If your data is more into a structured format, you should choose a relational database. uh, you can mix match, but then it is a tedious task to manage it once the scale grows. So yeah, it is not recommended, but yeah, you can use it. It's not a hard requirement. Yeah, so thank you so much for attending the session. If you have any question, feel free to drop it in the comment section, and we will meet tomorrow. And tomorrow we will get more hands-on with MongoDB and learn more concepts. So I would request all of you to please go through the installation step. You can just do a Google search. It is very easy to find, and install it in your system, so you will be ready to start learning with me tomorrow. So thank you so much.